Good morning, hello and welcome to Money Control's live stream. You're tuned into a fresh new edition of Opening Bell with me, Lovisha Darad. And we're back after a holiday and wish you once again the best of festivities and hope all of you had a good holiday as well. But yes, prayers go out to all the people who have been impacted by the flash floods in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal and Punjab as well. So yes, we've been watching closely and quite heart-wrenching visuals have been coming in from there too. But yes, coming back to the markets, now Trump's additional 25% tariffs went into effect yesterday. So now it seems like all those export-oriented sectors, be it textiles, gems and jewelries, they face steep tariffs and trade nearly seems to be at a halt itself. As per reports, all the reports have been suggesting that all of the labor-sensitive sectors have been staring at layoffs, especially with when it comes to gems and jewelry, where artisans are reportedly saying that the next 3 months are going to be quite a difficult one, where they could be staring at the lull of orders and, of course, a little bit of a layoffs that they could be facing as well. But yes, with these double tariffs, we will track if the sectors explore or tap into newer markets to fill in this vacuum that they will be facing. But yes, a slew of White House officials have also spoken about the India-US relationship, of how complicated it has become and the fact that both India and US are unlikely to budge anytime sooner. So yes, the negotiations could be on, but hopefully a better resolution is reached between the two countries. But coming to how the global markets have fared today, it has been quite a mixed trading session. If you look at the US markets, that ended higher overnight, while Asia-Pacific markets, they were quite mixed and muted this morning itself. But coming to our own markets, the GIFT Nifty trends, that is indicating a muted start, given that it is the monthly expiry day for the NSE, so some volatility could be seen in the markets as well. And given that it is also the last day when NSE will expire on a Thursday, it will change to Tuesday from September onwards, and the BSE shall expire on Thursday. So a switch shall take place between the two. Now, stock-specific action will also be continuing. We have Indigo's block deal, which will happen today. Then we have TCS appointing a new AI officer. All of these stocks we'll be discussing later in the segment as well. We'll also be taking your stock-related queries, so keep posting them on our live feed. Before we delve deeper into the show, however, let's take a quick check of the top headlines. India faces 50% US tariffs that went into effect from yesterday. Exports worth $60 billion to get to the US gets impacted. This even as India and US officials talk to resolve the standoff. US economic advisor calls the US-India relationship a complicated one, says India won't budge, neither will President Donald Trump. Stocks on Wall Street end the session higher. S&P 500 post record high as investors brace for Nvidia's earnings. However, S&P futures declined as Nvidia declines in after-hours trading following its upbeat results. Asia-Pacific markets trade largely lower as investors watch out Bank of Korea's decision. Attention will also turn on Dalal Street as it opens after a day's holiday with the US additional tariffs kicking in. The GIFT Nifty is indicating a lower start for our own markets. Crude oil prices settle higher after data shows a larger than expected drop in the US inventories. Meanwhile, gold prices tick lower as dollar gains. Heavy rains batter Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab and Himachal, triggering flash floods, leaving trail of destructions. Officials to evacuate thousands, at least 41 has been killed in Jammu rains. Alright, if you look at the last trading session that happened on Tuesday itself, Nifty and Sensex did hit a 3-month low and Nifty dropped particularly by about 250 points below that 24,750 mark. Whether or not today Nifty holds on to that 24,700 mark is something that we'll be watching out for itself. But yes, in the last trading session, auto FMCG, these were the stocks that actually outperformed in the weak market. However, the Nifty Realty, consumer durables, they underperformed and they were some of the worst hit sectors in that market. Broader markets, they continue their underperformance this week to the second consecutive day. Whether or not they extend their losing streak to the third this week, we'll be watching out for that as well. But coming to the cash flows data, you have FIIs which sold stocks which was worth about 6,500 crore rupees in the cash markets, and DIIs buying stocks which was worth about 6,800 crore rupees in the cash markets. Coming to the option cues data, Nifty put call ratio falling to about 0.72 levels from 0.88, and the stock that has been retained in the F&O ban, that includes your RBL bank and Titagar, is out of the ban at this point of time. But yes, coming to the pre-open rates, how the markets have been faring. If you look at Sensex and Nifty, both of them are indicating a subdued start for our own markets. So we'll be watching out, given that global handover is also quite mixed. Despite the US markets faring well in comparison to Asia markets, we could be seeing a little bit of an expiry day volatility that could also be kicking in today's markets. But yes, if financial freedom is your goal, Super Pro is your superpower. You can get all the live trading and investment ideas from all the SEBI registered experts, pre-identified chart patterns, and AI-powered stock alerts on WhatsApp all in one. And right now, with our special financial freedom offer, get the annual plan for just 2,500 rupees, down from 7,500, and download the Money Control app and subscribe today itself. All right, coming back, let's get on board with a technical expert of the show. Joining me is Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal. Chandan, good morning. What do you think? How does the market look like at the current juncture? Can Nifty hold that 24,700 mark?
Good morning, Lovisha. Thanks for having me. So, index started to form the lower highs from last three trading session and witnessed some corrective move. We have noticed that index fell to hold above 25,150 and corrected to us 24,700. The way the lower top, lower bottom is being formed with weakness in selective banking counter, I believe some more decline could be seen before getting stability. One need to keep in mind that market is struggling between domestic SIP flow, GST reform versus global market and the Trump tantrum. So because of that, we may see a tug of war between bulls and bears. As of now, till index is holding below 24,850, bounce could be sold to retest the key support of 24,442. So I believe 24,442 to 25,000 could be the broader range. And the way market is making lower top, lower bottom or lower highs on the daily chart, might see some more corrective move in the market. Talking about Bank Nifty, here the structure is weak and it has broken the immediate support range. And even we have seen a corrective move around 1,500 points in last 3 days. So here till it remains below 55,000, Bank Nifty can head towards 54,500 marks. So both the indices are witnessing some more decline, and due to the weakness in the Bank Nifty, we believe upside could be kept or some more downside level could be tested in the market.
Okay, some downside could be there in the markets. But yes, Chandan, in the last trading session, we did see that the FMCG was quite upbeat. Can we expect similar outperformance and extension of these gains for the Nifty FMCG index?
So I believe Nifty FMCG, new edge business or selective auto counter could be in focus even after the weakness in the broader market. Nifty FMCG has been consolidating in a range from last three expiry, or in fact, moving in a range from last almost 17 weeks. So one can look at the selective counter in FMCG pick. So HUL is one of the strongest counter which has given a consolidation breakout. So here one can look for buying opportunity with support of almost 2630. We can see an upside move towards 2800 kind of level. Nestle is also one of the strongest name in this market scenario, which is bottomed out. So with support of 1135, look for an upside target towards 1210 kind of level. So HUL, Nestle, Britannia, these could be the couple of names to get the safeguard in this market scenario.
Okay. Chandan, you did also mention about auto sector that also could be in focus. Anything that you're liking from the space or something your sidelines about?
So in Nifty Auto, which has been consolidating the range from last 4 trading session, may provide the stock specific buying actions. So Eicher Motor could be the one name where we are witnessing sustained buying interest. The stock has been making our top side bottom on the weekly chart. It has rallied well from 53.52 all the way to 6,200 marks. Even on the daily chart, it gave a pole and flag breakout with a decisive hold above 6,020. So I believe with support of 6,020, one can look for an upside target towards 6,400 marks in Eicher Motor. Apart from that, Maruti could be other name. The new king of the EV has given a consolidation breakout. So now with support of 14,250, look for an upside target towards 15,250 kind of level. So Eicher Motor and Maruti could be two preferred idea in the Nifty Auto Index.
Okay, all right. Let's also talk about cotton stocks because the government has extended the import duty free till about December 31st itself. Earlier it was till September, but right now the import duty has been extended right now. So anything that you're watching out for in terms of textile stocks, Chandan? Because earlier when we saw this move from the government, these counters did see some buying interest. What is your view? Can we see some interest today as well, be it your Vardhaman Textiles, Ambika Cotton, all of these counters?
So talking about textile name, in fact, we have seen lowest rollover as of now in this series in among all the sectors. On the one side, we have seen better rollover in Nifty Auto Index by 81%, but textile has seen a rollover almost 60%, which clearly indicates less interest for the next series. Talking about most of the textile counter, whether you talk about the Raymond or Ambika Cottons, most of the stocks are in pressure. In fact, the lower top, lower bottom is being formed. Sustained selling pressure is being noticed in the counter, and in fact, every small bounce is being sold. So, if I talk about the Bombay dyeing, the stock fell to surpass 184, drifted lower to us 173. The phrase hurdle is shifting to 178 to witness a decline to us 166 kind of level. So, most of the textile name could be under pressure given the scenario of the market.
Most of the textile names. Let's also talk about broader end of the markets because they have been continuing their underperformance to the fourth consecutive session now. What do you expect, Chandan? Can we expect the sideways momentum to continue from both the mid cap and small cap indices?
So I believe selective stocks could do well. However, advanced decline ratio is negative from last two, three trading session. As index failed to give a breakout or hold about 25,000, 150 and drifted lower. So the sentiment of bulls has shaken out. And because of that, very few stocks could be on radar. If you ask me the name, I believe only 8 to 10 stocks are there which are forming the positive price pattern. And most of them are from FMCG or consumption or discretionary spending, and second will be from Nifty Auto or few new age business. So I believe in this scenario, very selective small cap and mid cap counters could do well. So better to be on sideline, look for some important bottom to proceed, or look for some bargain buying for the next phase of rally in the market.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about one stock in focus, that is your TCS, because that appointed Amit Kapoor as the Chief AI and Services Transformation Officer to head the new global AI unit. But yes, what is your outlook on the entire IT stock and IT space? Because the stock has rebounded in the past couple of days, Chandan.
So, like if I look at the TCS from last 1 year point of view, the stock is down by around 23%, corrected after the recovery of 2023 and 2024. So, structure is weak. In fact, the stock has been making lower top, lower bottom from last almost 12 months. But good part is from the bottom near 3,000 marks and has been slightly shifting upwards from last two tradings, 2 weeks. It has formed the higher base. So I believe some support based buying or recovery could be there in the selective IT name, and TCS might be the one where some bargain buying cannot be ruled out. So with support of 3085, one can look for an upside target towards 3280 in TCS. So some bottom facing or recovery mode could be seen in selective IT, and TCS could be one of them.
Bargain buying could be seen in the IT pack. Okay, that is something that we need to watch out for. But yes, the first rates coming on your screen. Nifty has opened with a 0.3% decline. 90 points decline coming in for Nifty. We have slipped below that 24,700 mark as well. We were expecting a subdued start, but right now Nifty has lost 24,700 itself. Sensex down about 300 points, 350 points down tick coming in for Sensex as well. If you look at the mid cap index, that is also opened in the red. Flat to very negative bias at this point of time. Bank Nifty seeing a sharper cut of about 0.5%. And if you look at some of the other sectoral indices, if you look at Nifty IT index like earlier we were talking about, that is also opened with a decline of about 0.5%. Other than that, metal index not doing well. If you look at Bank Nifty, that is also open in the red. On the other hand, if you look at Nifty Auto Index, that is seeing a gain of about 0.3% at this point of time. Let's take a look at how Nifty FMCG has been doing. Comparatively, Nifty FMCG has been doing relatively well against the other sectors at this point of time. But if you look at the India Wix, that is showing a little bit of an uptick, 0.3% gains coming in for the India Wix as well. So yes, all in all, it's quite a muted session for the market so far. If you look at some of the top gainers and losers on the Nifty 50, you can see auto names also dominating the list. Hero MotoCorp doing well with a gain of about 1%. Other than that, we can see Tata Consumer Products doing well with about 0.3%. Some of the consumption theme doing well once again. Asian Paints with about 0.4% gains. Pharma stocks after last trading sessions of profit booking, we can see Dr. Reddy's Lab doing well with about 0.2% gains. Cipla also with about 0.2% gains. However, on the losing end, Shriram Finance once again one of the top losers, so 1.6% decline coming in for Shriram Finance. TCS with about 0.8% decline. Geo Financial, ICICI Bank, Hindalco, they are some of the other losers on the Nifty 50. But yes, let's talk about Shriram Finance because the stock has been extending its downward trajectory itself. Once again, the stock has been witnessing a pressure in today's trading session with about with a percent decline itself. If you look at the 1 month chart of Shriram Finance, the stock has witnessed a downward decline of about 7% itself. So yes, Shriram Finance, anything on the counter, Chandan, because the stock has been witnessing quite pressure from a couple of sessions.
So yes, the broader market is negative. In fact, the Nifty and Bank Nifty both are witnessing pressure and selective financial counters are underperforming. If you look at the Shriram Finance, it was holding well above 610, but today's gave a breakdown. In fact, on the last trading session, it witnessed a sustained selling pressure. So till it remains below 600, I believe more weakness can be seen in the counter, which can take it towards 560 to 555 levels.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about Polycab. That stock has been doing relatively well in this weak market, flat to positive gain at this point of time. We have seen that Jefferies has given out a buy call on the counter and they've given out a target price of about 81.80 rupees per share, where they expect that the FY25 to 28 EPS CAGR is expected to be at about 26% itself. And the stock has been trading in line with its 5-year historical average itself. And they expect that, going ahead, the stock is expected for a re-rating as well. Chandan, what is your view on the counter for Polycab? Today the stock is flat, but some buying interest was visible in the initial minutes.
So major trend of the counter is positive. We have seen a strong recovery from 45.80 to almost 7,200 levels in last 6-7 months. But it has been consolidating because of the market pressure. So I believe 16,950 is immediate support till it holds above the same. Utilize any decline as a buying opportunity for an upside target towards 70 to 50 kind of level.
Okay, all right. Let's also talk about Hero MotoCorp. That stock is doing well, quite well, with about a percent gains, one of the top Nifty gainers as well. Chandan, the stock has been doing well in today's trading session, and of course, in the past 1 month also, the stock has given quite decent returns with about 20% gains. What is your outlook on the counter?
So overall positive on the selective auto counter, and Hero Moto is also one of the strongest name, and I believe positive price placement could take it to higher zone. So as of now, the support is intact. With support of 5,050, look for an upside target towards 5,300 in Hero Moto.
Okay, all right. That is a stock that we need to watch out for. Now, let's take some of the viewer queries that has been dropping on our live feed. Debuke has been asking the first viewer query, that is your on Naveen Fluorine. Naveen Fluorine, any thoughts on the counter, how the stock looks like at the current charts? Because today it is, flat with a positive bias. But if you look at the 1 month chart, 6% declines coming in for the counter.
So yes, trend of the counter is in pressure. If I look at the Naveen Fluorine, it failed to hold at higher levels, corrected from 50 to 50 to 4,700 marks. So structure is weak. In fact, on the weekly chart, the negative price pattern is emerging. So with hurdle at 48.50, look for a downside target towards 4,600 in Naveen Fluorine.
Okay, all right. Let's take another viewer query then. Naveen has been asking whether or not it is the right time to enter the BSE stock. The stock has been witnessing some pressure after SEBI's mandate as well, and majority of the capital market stocks also seems to be not doing well. But is this the right price point to enter, Chandan? What would you suggest?
So, if you look at the selective capital market theme, I believe one has to be very selective here. However, let the expiry settle at change and interchange because now the Nifty expiry will be on Tuesday and Bank Nifty will be on Thursday after this expiry. So let it cool down further, I think, to form the bottom. 2000 could be the next key level to find any sort of buying interest. Otherwise, if it moves about 2320, then only recovery mode could be seen. So as of now, the structure is weak. Let the counter see more decline from current zone.
Okay, all right. The counter could see some declines. Let's take another viewer query. Vic has been asking the view on Tata Power, how the stock looks like. The stock has been stuck in a range. It's oscillating between that 370 to 400 mark in the last couple of sessions itself. No major buying interest has been seen in the counter. But for the near-term perspective, Chandan, do you expect some pickup?
So looking at Tata Power, I think the structure. So looking at the Tata Power, the structure is mixed. In fact, now the breakdown is clearly visible after the formation of lower top, lower bottom of last 5 days. So till it remains below 385, it can go down to us 360 marks.
Okay, all right. Let's take another stock in focus. That is your United Breweries. How the counter has been doing in today's trading session. The stock is seeing a decline of about 0.6%. If you look at the company, they have planned to invest about 90 crore rupees in a new canning line at Telangana's Nizam Brewery as well. Of course, the entire liquor stocks have been seeing some pressure after the Maharashtra's excise duty, which took place in the month of July. And so far this year also, the stock has been an underperformer. But yes, what does the near term suggest for the counter, Chandan?
So as of now, the structure is slightly negative. Stock has been falling down from last 5 weeks. In fact, given a breakdown on the daily and the weekly chart, so till it remains below 1875, look for a decline towards 1770.
Okay, 770. All right, let's take another stock in focus. Let's also talk about Tata Steel. Well, the company has acquired shares which is worth about 3,100 rupees, crore rupees in its Singapore incorporated subsidiary, which is your T Steel Holdings. But the stock has been seeing a little bit of a pressure today, 0.4% decline coming in for the counter. What does the near term suggest for Tata Steel, Chandan? And of course, the entire view on the metal steel pack after the Fed's dovish tone, which has been spelled out.
So Tata Steel is range bound. However, because of the market pressure, it declined from 160 to 154 marks. But as of now, some more decline can be seen in the stock. Next support will be around 150 level in the stock.
Okay, 150 levels will be the support for Tata Steel. That is something that we need to watch out for as well. Let's take another viewer query then. Pooja Khanna has been asking that she's been holding K Fintech at about 1110 rupees and whether or not it is a good time to add at this particular counter. Any thoughts on the same? Because if you look at from the 1 month perspective, the stock is seeing a little bit of a pressure and it's slipped below her buying price as well.
So the structure is negative, has been making lower top, lower bottom on lower time frame, broken the key support. So till it remains below 1065, it can go down to 1010.
Okay, all right. 1010, that is where we need to watch out for. All right, let's take another viewer query. Ratna Kumar has been asking the view on SBI because he's been holding the stock at minor losses. He's asking whether he should average at this particular level. Any thoughts, Chandan, for SBI?
So because of the market pressure and the weakness in the bank nifty, the stock is turned lower. So as of now, the lower top, lower bottom structure can take it counter to a 785.
Okay, 785 levels. That is what we need to watch out for SBI as well. Let's take another viewer query then. Geetu Sandesh has been asking the view on Apollo Hospital or Hindustan Unilever, both of the different counters from different sectors, which is the best buy for a fresh entry for the long term. Both of the stocks have been performing well in the recent days, Chandan, but anything that you're watching out for closely for a fresh entry?
So like if you look at the Hindustan Unilever or Apollo Hospital, I believe major trend is positive. If Apollo Hospital corrects towards 75, 70, 75, 50, 7600, one can go for buying interest. In that scenario, 8,000, 8,050 kind of level could be seen. If you look at the Hindustan Unilever, trend is positive. But try to buy only on decline with support near 2600, it can head towards 2900, 3000 marks.
Okay, all right. Those are something that we need to watch out for. Let's take another viewer query on that note. Anunay has been asking the view on Manorama Industries. He's bought the stock at about 1377. He's asking what's the outlook. 1377. It's the stock has slipped below his buying price, and from the peak of June also the stock is down about 13%. But so far this year the stock is up about 27% itself. Any view on the counter? Because so far this year the stock has seen a structural uptrend, but right now it's witnessing some consolidation.
So like if you look at this name, I think structure is slightly negative. It started to form lower top, lower bottom on the daily chart. So till it remains below, I believe 1380, Weak structure can drag it lower. So avoid stock can go down to 1320 marks.
1320 marks, the stock can also go down to. All right, let's take another viewer query then. We have NP Gandhi asking about Ola Electric. The stock has been seeing some buying interest in the last couple of sessions itself. Today also the stock is doing well with about 1% gains itself. Chandan, any thoughts on the counter? Any target levels that you're watching out for Ola Electric?
I believe some recovery is visible in the name and it has formed the short-term bottom. The good part is even after the market corrective move, the stock is now drifting lower. So, however, earlier the stock remained underperformed, corrected from 157 to 40 marks, but now recovering well from lower levels. Positive price pattern on the daily, weekly, and monthly chart. But again, one need to look at the position sizing and the quantity part as well. So, with support of 4900, with support of 49, it can head towards 56, 57 levels.
Okay, all right, 56, 57 levels that we need to watch out for Ola Electric as well. Let's take another viewer query on that note. We have Amardeep Shah who's asking the view on EliteCon International. How does the stock look like on the counter, Chandan? Because the stock today has hit about 5% lower circuit. But from a near-term perspective, do you expect the stock to do well?
No, but I suggest better to away from such kind of low volume counter. I'm not closely tracking the structure is negative, the stock is hitting to the circuit. So it would be very tough to get the liquidity here. So my suggestion is try to exit whenever you get a chance.
Okay, exit whenever you get a chance for the counter. Let's take another viewer. Let's take another stock in focus. We have Biocon. The stock is not doing well with about 0.4% decline, but we had news where the company said that its arm, which is your Biocon Pharma, has received a US FDA approval for sitagliptin tablets. The stock is down by 7% also in the past 1 month. How does the near term pan out for Biocon, Chandan? Because the stock is down by about 7%. Can we expect the counter to underperform in the coming days?
Yeah, so like it's likely to be in a range, I believe. However, bounces are being sold, but again, follow-up is missing. It got stuck in a range from last almost 10 days. Multiple hurdles are visible near 366, supports are visible near 350. So I think till it doesn't surpass the range, it would be tough. But again, range bound bias can be applied in Biocon.
Okay, all right. Let's take another viewer query then. Umesh has been asking the view on NSDL, whether it is a time to buy or wait for a few days. Of course, in the past 1 month, the stock has run up quite significantly by about past like about 29% itself. But yes, from a near-term perspective, Chandan, what do you believe for NSDL?
So looking at NSDL, I believe just better to wait and watch because selective counter from the capital market started to witness a corrective move. As of now, the key support may be below 1180 kind of levels. So 1180, 1175 can provide some support based buying to this stock.
Okay, all right. Let's take another viewer query then. Anunay Ricky has been asking the view on 361 WAM. He's bought the stock at about 1045. He's asking what is the view for the next 6 months. 1045, the stock is trading about 1054 at this point of time. What do we expect for the next 6 months, Chandan, for the counter? Past 1 month, the stock has seen a little bit of a decline.
So like due to the market weakness, capital market started to witness some corrective move. But major trend is positive. I believe if it corrects towards 1000, one can look for some bargain buying for an upside target towards 1100 to 1150.
Okay, 1100 to 1150. That is something that we need to watch out for this counter as well. Let's take another viewer query. Arpan has been asking the view on Hyundai Motors on how the counter has been doing. Well, if you look at the stock today, the stock is experiencing a decline of about 0.4%. But if you look at from the past 1 month, the stock has did quite well. 21% uptick coming in for the counter itself. Chandan, what can we expect on Hyundai Motor? Can we expect the gains to sustain in the coming days?
Yeah, so major trend of the counter is positive and we witness a decent run up of more than 15% in this month. And in fact, counter is doing well from last 4 months. So major trend is positive. Utilize any decline for buying. As of now, 2400 is major support for a positional target towards 2620.
Okay, all right. Let's take another, stock in focus. We have Oil India. because the company has formed a joint venture with BPCL to develop any gas distribution network in Arunachal Pradesh, which includes your CNG stations and PNG to supply households, businesses, and any industries. The stock is experiencing a little bit of a pressure today, 1% decline coming in for the counter. But yes, for Oil India and BPCL, any thoughts on both of these counters, Chandan?
So structure is weak. Oil India can correct to us 385. Even BPCL also moving in a range, but lower top, lower bottoms are clearly visible on the daily chart. So it can go down, but comparatively multiple supports are visible at 305, 302. But yes, ONGC looks, Oil India looks weak. I think some shorts can be seen there.
Okay, some shorts could be visible there. All right, just one last question before we let you go, Chandan. Any top picks that you want to highlight in this particular hour? We have double tariffs, which has already kicked in yesterday, but anything that you're watching out very closely?
So in this market scenario, one has to be very selective. I'll positive on the auto name, whether we talk about Eicher Motor or Hero Motor or Maruti. So Hero Motor could be first idea with support of 5050, looking for an upside target towards 5300 level. So this is the one name. And apart from that, I believe Eicher Motor could be on radar. While on the weakness side, I believe most of the PSU banks could be under pressure, or few financial name could be under pressure.
Okay, all right. All right. With that, we have to let you go, Chandan, but thank you so much for your time and joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a quick check of the markets before we move on to our next guest of the show. If you look at Sensex and Nifty, both of them have extended the decline at this point of time. Sensex Nifty down by about 180 points, slipped below that 24,600 odd levels as well. So the sell-off has intensified at this point of time, nearly a percent decline coming in for the Nifty index as well. If you look at Nifty Auto Index, however, also experiencing a decline of about 0.3%. And some of the other sectoral indices have also slipped into the negative territory. Bank Nifty also down by about 1% itself. But yes, if financial freedom is your goal, Super Pro is your superpower. You can get all the live trading and investment ideas from SEBI registered experts, pre-identified chart patterns, and AI-powered stock alerts on WhatsApp all in one. And right now, with a special financial freedom offer, you can get the annual plan for just 2,500 rupees, which is down from 7,500 rupees. So you can just download the Money Control app and subscribe today itself. All right. All right. With that, let's quickly move on to our next guest of the show. We have Vikas Gupta, CEO and Chief Investment Strategist of OmniScience Capital, who will be joining us shortly. Let's talk more about to him. Hi, Vikas. How have you been? Hi. Oh, all right. Vikas, let me start off with the first question to you. We have the earnings season, which is already over. Then we have the double tariffs, which kicked in yesterday. What would your advice be to a fresh investor when they look at the markets at the current juncture?
Yeah, so one thing we are anything we say is applicable to the long-term investors, right? Three years plus kind of thing. And having said that, so double tariffs is definitely not a great sign for the sectors impacted, right? And earlier we used to have the opinion that this stage would itself not arise and there would be a deal done. But now more and more what we are seeing, it looks like this could be very extended and both sides might dig in their heels and be even more stringent on their national interests. Okay, so in that sense, arriving at a quick deal, the probability has reduced. It's still possible, but probability we think is reduced. That was on the negative side. But on the positive side, India has initiated conversations with multiple countries, including BRICS, but EU, BRICS, multiple, maybe 10, 15 countries are actively interacting. And probably one of the agendas is to figure out which countries can buy the stuff which is impacted by US tariffs, right? So those sectors, what are the alternative markets? Now, of course, those things are not easy and it's not going to happen in a matter of months. But in a matter of few quarters, I think definitely, India will find alternate markets and prove that it has more resiliency. So this is, and all this near-term negativity is natural, expected. and that should be taken as an opportunity by long-term investors to buy companies which they have been tracking and probably due to valuation concerns were not able to buy. If they are available at their appropriate values, then people can start initiating with the long-term view.
Okay, okay. Because what will be the next trigger for markets going ahead from here on then? We already had tariffs which has been discounted by the markets at this point of time. We are hoping that a climb down from those tariffs are expected. But going from here on, what will be investors, all eyes on?
Yeah, so the near term is obviously the Fed rate cut, right? So that is the thing which is a potential trigger. But even with that, I don't see if it's a normal rate cut that there'll be a huge, that is probably already discounted, right? Following that, probably if government announces, or maybe government might not announce publicly support to these sectors, right? So those might be slightly due to the sensitivity of the negotiations, they might do it quietly, but that could have an impact, I think, a positive impact, because government has to support those sectors. How they will do, what is the structure, it might not be very public. But if we see that kind of stuff happening, then we should expect that is to be the other trigger to support the markets.
Okay. Because are you also betting big on consumption theme to make a comeback right now, given the GST rationalization is talks are on the street?
Yeah, so consumption definitely will have a huge positive impact. Our only concern is the valuations. That is where we are not comfortable with consumption, most of the consumption stocks. So that is our concern there. But fundamentally, it's a very good move, and it should trigger a upside on the revenue earnings side.
Okay, okay. Apart from that, any place else where you're seeing some value buying in this market?
Yeah, so huge value buying in terms of banks, right? Both public sector, private sector, housing finance, power sector, manufacturing, business or commercial services. So these are some of the things where we think it's an interesting play happening, and people are Mr. Market is blind to those opportunities. But 3 years later, 5 years later, probably we can look back and look at this as a great opportunity. Probably, I'm not saying it's guaranteed.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's talk, since you mentioned about banking sector, I'll specifically talk about small finance banks, because if you look at the first quarter, they witnessed some profit pressure, where the net profit had declined on an aggregate levels by about 76% itself. Where do you see all of these small finance bank stocks going from here on at this point of time? Because credit costs, elevated credit costs has been an issue for this particular segment.
Yeah, so that segment is going to struggle. That will, we are not very excited about the small finance banks. We are talking of the large, very large banks, public sector, private sector, large to mid-size. We would stay away ideally, because when fundamentals are not so great, then not to worry about stock prices. Fundamentals have to be good. Only then you worry whether it's cheap or not cheap.
Okay, okay. What about the insurance space? Now that we're talking also about banking, I want to understand from the insurance space, because SBI Life, HDFC Life, both of these counters have done quite well. And the entire insurance has been focusing on non-traditional products also to improve their margins going ahead. Where do you stand on insurance at this point of time?
So insurance is a great sector. India has, got a great opportunity for these companies in the long term, and even near term, they seem to be doing well. Our only concern again is like on the valuation side, we are quite stringent, and as of now, maybe one or two companies, but most of the companies will not fit our criteria from the valuation front. Fundamental wise, it's fine.
Okay, okay. Because let's also talk about IT stocks, because they have made a comeback to the street as a contra bet, where majority of the brokerages are expecting that the risk reward could improve in the next 1 year itself. Have you also started to relook at it?
Not really. We are not so gung ho. We love IT sector. It's been there with us before everyone. When Mr. Market was blind to it in 2017 onwards, everyone hated it, and we had a very good run till about last year. huge multi-bagger returns based on the digital transformation theme. And now next theme which was coming was AI. The only challenge is that even though AI spending on cloud and all that, I mean the by the cloud owners in on Nvidia etc. is huge. It's probably $500 billion. And the only way to get that back is to have Fortune 500 go for AI projects, which have to be executed by Indian IT companies. But despite all that, the growth is going to take time. And with the kind of anti-India stance which the Trump administration is doing, it looks that it will be even slightly longer. Okay, that is our view. Our probabilities are slightly longer, maybe 1.5+ years to 2 years before we see the high growth triggered by AI. So AI is definitely a huge opportunity, and it's not a 1 or 2 year opportunity. It's like 10+ years. So Indian IT is very, very likely to come back for the like a 10-year growth vector in double digits. But right now, near term, we don't see the growth. It's difficult, and the valuations are too high to enter at for that kind of a near-term growth.
Okay, okay, all right. So, do you expect that IT stocks need more further derating at the current valuations itself as well?
Yeah, if it was derated, then it would be coming closer to fair value. And if it was further derated, then maybe it would become a very interesting play to enter. But from the valuation, I'm very clear. Valuation is the issue why it's not exciting to us.
Okay, all right, all right. Anything else from a valuation perspective that you still believe that investors should stay wary of at this in this current market?
Yeah, so all FMCG, you have to be very careful, okay, in terms of what you buy.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, because just, like now that Q1 earnings season is already over, we did see that profit had declined on a year-on-year basis. Revenue was growing in single digits. And the street has been working with double-digit growth projections for the upcoming quarters, at least for FY26 on an aggregate basis as well. What do you believe? Are we still on track, or can we miss the bus?
Yeah, some probability that we could miss the bus, but the GST and all those things, rate cuts on India side, and GST and probably some other kind of PLI or other things coming up for the tariff impacted sectors, we might still make the bus. Okay, that's the possibility, but the chances of missing is slightly increased. Yeah.
Okay, chances is slightly increased. All right. All right. With that, we have to let you go, Vikas. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope that we connect with you soon.
Super. Great to be here. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's take a quick check of the markets at this point of time. Well, both the Sensex and Nifty has been trading with a larger set of losses. Sensex down about 500 points. Nifty also slipped below that 24,600 odd levels as well. Majority of the sectors have been trading in the negative territory. If you look at the Nifty Energies, showing some signs of optimism, 0.1% gains. Nifty Pharma Index also holding well in this market with about 0.2% gains. And if you look at majority of the sectors, be it your IT, oil and gas, or Bank Nifty, or even for the matter for Nifty Auto Index, all of them have been trading with some amount of cut as well. India VIX has spiked up, jumped about by 5%. Some panic could be there in the markets, and of course it's the expiry day, so some volatility is expected in the markets. But yes, if you come to as a financial freedom, if that is your goal, then Super Pro can be your superpower. You can get all the live trading and investment ideas from SEBI registered experts, pre-identified chart patterns, and AI-powered stock alerts, all on WhatsApp, all in one. And right now we have a special financial freedom offer. You can get the annual plan for just 2,500 rupees, which is down for 7,500. You can download the Money Control app and subscribe today itself. All right, with that, we have come to an end of this edition of Opening Bell. Don't forget to tune in at 3:30 for closing, and we will be discussing about how the market is developed and what the stocks have been in focus. Until then, signing off.